The pride of the Southland band crisply marches into the Giant T. The rear, the roar of 97,000 fans rises with each rhythmic step. In the background, George Beaches is singing Fight Balls Fight. The orange and white Shakers flood the air. The volunteers are ready at the north end of the football field to burst through the gate. They're coming now, racing onto the field through the Giant T. In that magic moment that says, wherever you are, it's football time in Tennessee.
What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to BBD TV. I am your host, BBD, and it's time to start working on these college football videos that I've been promising for the last few weeks. My apologies for not getting this Charlotte 49er video out like last week like I promised. My apologies for that. But it's time to get down to it. We're under 2 months before the hopeful start of college football. And look, not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about whether we will or will not have a college football season. I've done it ad nauseum on my live streams. Everyone else has done it. Here's the bottom line. We all hope that we have a college football season that starts somewhere near on time. We hope we play all 12 games, and we hope that there will be fans in the stands. But the reality of it is, at least right now, doesn't look like that's going to happen. But we'll see. I'm going to make these videos as if Tennessee will play all 12 teams on their schedule this year, whether there's fans in the stands or not. So last year, Tennessee opens up the season with Georgia State. Nobody on planet Earth thought this would be a game, and it wasn't. It wasn't much of a game at all. Georgia State manhandled Tennessee. So keeping that in mind, Tennessee fans, Tennessee players, this year we open up the schedule with the Charlotte 49ers, a team that has only been in existence since 2013. Georgia State, another team not been around that long. You know, I hope Tennessee's not trying to start some kind of trend here, but I'm going to be honest with you. As good as Charlotte was last year, and they were pretty good for a team that had never had a winning season, much better than people expected. Second-year coach Mike Healy doing a great job, at least after 1 year, right? Got to watch out for them 49ers. They're on the rise. When you look at the Southeastern Conference versus Conference USA, the SEC is going to win 99% of the time. And that should be the case here. Tennessee should pat them on the back and say, thanks for showing up. Here's your check. Now we're going to beat your ass. I guarantee you Tennessee will demerculate the 49ers this year. But might as well talk just a little about them. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this team. I'm not an analyst. You're not going to find me on ESPN breaking down the Charlotte 49ers or anybody else on Tennessee's schedule, or even Tennessee for that matter. What people like when they come to my channel for college football stuff is my honest opinion, a little bit of humor, and when Tennessee loses, a lot of ranting. Well, this is a preview video. It's not a hate video like I used to do on here. I don't hate the 49ers. First game of the year, not a lot of expectations nationwide for Tennessee. Most people are saying 8-4, 7-5. So this should be the first win, and will be. But what are we facing with the 49ers? What do the Charlotte 49ers bring to Neyland Stadium? Offensively, they bring some firepower. Quarterback Chris Reynolds, the dude can throw and the dude can run. Now, I haven't spent hours and hours and hours researching the 49ers. Going to be honest with you, just haven't. What I have read on these guys is that Chris Reynolds can sling it and he can run it. Set some school records last year, passing and running. So he's one of these guys you got to watch out for. When you think he's going to sling it, he's going to tuck and run. I think he had almost 800 yards rushing last year. You know, another one of those guys that you got to watch out for. A lot of planning to watch out for this guy running it or throwing it. And I love watching those guys. I love watching Tennessee try to defend against those guys. Got some good running backs coming back. They got a transfer from, I think it was Northern Illinois, Trey Harbison. He's going to be a nice addition to the backfield. Other offensive weapon, wide receiver Victor Tucker. This guy can catch it. He had 5 100-yard games last year. caught for over 700 yards, I think it was. A weapon, just a weapon for the 49ers. Defensively, they get a couple of guys back this year that were out last year that will help bolster a marginal defense. Tyreek Harris on the end and safety Ben DeLuca are back. They'll be ready to get after it and show what they can do in Neyland Stadium. Maybe in front of a crowd, maybe not. Also, with 9.5 sacks, that's a lot of sacks, Marquise Watts is back at the other end position. So again, not going to spend a lot of time on these guys. I've mentioned a few names to look out for. Most publications that I've looked at have Charlotte picked to finish third-ish in their side of the Conference USA, behind Florida Atlantic, Western Kentucky. Maybe Marshall makes a move up in the East this year. We'll see. Of course, over in the West, UAB, Louisiana Tech, USM, a few of the top half of that side of the conference. Who's going to win the Conference USA this year? Who knows? Who cares? Let's be honest. Who really gives a shit? I don't. I'd love to see Marshall with my boy Chris Everhart do something in the Conference USA this year. Most likely he'll go up there and get redshirted. We'll see. But I'd like to see Charlotte do well this year. The 7-6 last year, first bowl game ever for the 49ers. They lost. But hey, they made it to their first ever bowl game. You got to start somewhere, right? This year, they unfortunately have to start in Neyland Stadium, and that does not bode very well for you, Mr. Healy, Mr. Reynolds, and the rest of you 49er bums. Good luck to you this year. Hope you do well in your conference. Hope you come to Neyland Stadium and get bent over Jeremy Pruitt's knee and bare ass spanked like you should. Again, come to Neyland, collect your $1 million check or whatever it is, take your ass whooping, and go back over there to Charlotte and have an enjoyable rest of your season. Honestly, I hope Charlotte goes 10-2 this year. I hope they win every single game they play except for Tennessee and Marshall. They actually beat Marshall last year at home, but they got to travel and take a visit with the Thundering Herd this year. So we'll see about that. Or maybe we won't. Maybe after Tennessee and Charlotte plays, nobody gives a shit about Charlotte. I tend to watch how these teams do when they come after they come to Neyland Stadium. If they win after they come take their ass whooping to Tennessee, that only helps Tennessee. Makes Charlotte look better, makes Tennessee look better. So we'll see what happens. Tennessee and Charlotte have a history together. They have a long, storied history of one game. Yep, that's right. Charlotte came to Neyland Stadium in 2018 and took an embarrassing spanking at the hands of Tennessee. Tennessee won that game 14-3 and had me scared to damn death. Safe to say, this 2020 Charlotte team is way better than the 2008 team that came up here to Neyland Stadium and gave Tennessee a scare. I don't think that's going to happen this year. I think Tennessee is in a much better place than they were back then. This is season number 3 for Jeremy Pruitt. Look for the lessons to have been learned, especially week 1 against inferior opponents. And I think Tennessee wins this game going away. Just going to throw a number out there. I'm going to say 38-3. In review, Tennessee, Charlotte. One game 2 years ago, Tennessee wins it embarrassingly, in my opinion, 14-3. Charlotte brings a potent offense into Knoxville, a somewhat suspect defense, but some ball players. They got some players on D. 13 returning starters, so, you know, they're not without some experience. They will come up here, they will play hard, they will try to win this game. They will not, unfortunately for you Niner fans, even be in this game. Sorry about your luck there, 49ers. Season 2020, game number 1 goes to my Volunteers. There you go. Go Vols, screw y'alls, and while you're getting screwed, have a good day too.